How you doing? This is the guy from Pittsburgh, and tonight it's the first episode of Masterflub Theater. Yes, George Noory and his crap to crap show. You know, people accuse me of being mean to George Noory. I'm not mean at all. I talk about the things he does every night, and it's not just one night. It's not 2 nights. Not 3, 4, or 5 nights, or 6 or 7 nights. It's every night. Every night for years, you can go back and listen to Somewhere in Slime, and you find Nooryisms. Now, this is 2013, and we're about to get to 2014. And according to some, we shouldn't have gotten here at all because of 2012 and also the ever-popular 2000 glitch that was supposed to destroy our computers and bring us back to the days of stone knives and bearskins. So I'm going to go back to the pages of Belgab, hi Belgabbers, and I'm going to quote directly from those pages things that George Noory himself has said on the air. Now, the problem is that it's almost like having a job shining the former First Lady of the Philippines, Imelda Marcos' shoes. They have a shoe museum over there. And I figured out one day that you could start with one pair of shoes and shine them, and you'd still be shining shoes for at least 3 to 5 years. That's how many shoes this woman had, expensive shoes, while her people were starving, living in tin huts and cardboard boxes in the city of Manila. And so you could start in 2008 and work forward to today and take days to go through all the Nooryisms, and you might never get done. You might not live that long. And just a moment, I have to pause. Little girl cat wants to go out, even though I think she, like Fluffy, is crazy because it's 39 degrees out there. Little girl, you are being silly. It's cold out there. Go ahead. Sorry about that. I think she's being silly. Fuzzy is smart. She's lying on her little bed and she's all warm and snuggly. And one more thing. The owner of Belgab, the co-host of the Spec Sheet and his UFO podcast, MV, he's obsessed with my box fans. Now, I don't know where this obsession came. I don't know if he comes from the Midwest, land of the big wind generator, or some would like to paper the whole eastern side of Kansas with these things and then kill all the birds. But I'll tell you what, MB, if you want a box fan next year, when they're selling them again, they sell them in multiple colors. I'll see what I can do to ship you one. And I'm sure that soon Dr. Phil will have an episode of men obsessed with Falkies, box fans, and the women who tolerate them. So watch for that soon. And by the way, you're watching part of the George Noory Sucks video network. So I'm going to start off with posts from a Belgabber named Meagle. And I'm assuming Meagle's a girl, but I'm not certain about this. So we'll start with this one. She actually called the show one night and told Noory, "It's hard to take you seriously when you mispronounce so many words, George. Seriously." And his response was, "I'm not sure how to take this." So that's one. I'm reading these off my screen, so you'll have to bear with me. Okay, here's another one. 2008. Hurricane Ike, which is down there in the Gulf. Not Gulf of Mexico, Gulf. Not Volkswagen Golf, but the Golf you hit with a stick like Johnny Carson in his monologue. It's a very heartwarming story. We owe to ourselves to open up a new investigation to find out what cruelly, Chroolly, I think he meant truly, happened that day. Television pundits have been blasting. What's a pundit? We're gonna talk about the presidential race. That's right next to the rickshaw race. Guest. Sarah Palin is actually a fantastic choice for John McCain. Is she a good match for him, said George? Guest, yeah. Now I have a theory, but we'll reveal that later in the show. Now don't ruin my theory. Now I don't know, but we'll reveal there's my theory in just a second here. Make it a prediction. And then this hour, maybe even next hour, I'm gonna add something to the mix. Regardless, is this gun be Klaus under this scenario? I think he meant Klaus and counters of the third kind. I'm gonna hold up my prediction until we come back. Japanese researchers said he died and he's got doubles in there now. My predictions when we come back. You know, when I was a kid, and I knew him, he was a great guy, and he talked about how he had shock treatment years beat whore. Where the ones that cruelly pushed election, no, and I stub boyika. Caller, I have a question for your guest. How did Obama and Palin make it so far so fast in this election? George, you don't care in this election, Rachel was one of the most. Caller, I have a question for your guest. Which candidate is going to be the more forthcoming in regards to the disclosure of aliens? George, now that's an interesting question. Let me answer that one. Why, I have guessed. Sometimes we crash websites. We do that on purpose sometimes. You know, Bob Barr from the Libertarian Party is good guy. He is also moose and squirrel. Political pundit. Yeah, we know of things that helped Kennedy when he was running against Nixon was. Anne in Queens, New York, you're up. We'll see what happens. Dennis Glynis, we're out of time. Talking about Glynis McCann's, I presume. Dealing with Sakaka things. Zaz, amazing. It did, cruelly it did. I was a buzz on Larry King's show. Snorge is important. Well, that 8 years, Frau Owl, he'll be 80. Now we're going to do the ghost to ghost this year a little different. Fuss, frost, some of the troops, not all of them. To which Meagle said, I think he has a hamster running in a wheel in his mouth, which is a great comment. I wouldn't plop cast down on the house. McCain, Palin versus Obide, Obama, Biden. I think he's distanced himself from this administration. We'll be back. We'll talk about the election, Iran, Iraq, Russia, Shah. Guess you managed to put up the first woman and that first Afro-American. There is an executive order that would allow Bush to stay in office. The problem is nobody defines the you say Allen. These hours just go by so fast. No, they don't, George. Where is that? Well, that's just a sample, and that's just two posts out of the thousands on Belgad. So tune in next time for another exciting video of Life with Snorge on the George Noory Video Network. And this is the guy from Pittsburgh saying, hope you're staying warm across the country. It's freezing here in Martinez. And I'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.